and this is for the Vice President, for Dr. Birx and Dr. Fauci, but can you give us a sense of, and I know you don't want to make any projections, but where we are with the numbers, because we saw that horrible number today, more than 10,000 deaths now in the U.S. Are we on track for those best case scenario numbers that you had laid out, the 100,000, or are we potentially coming in lower than that at this point, given some of what you're seeing?
You know, it just gives me an opportunity to thank and respect the modelers who have really worked on this, because there's a large number of them have worked very hard and done a lot of predictions. And what we did is we did predictions of predictions. We like to integrate data, and so that's where you come up with these numbers. I think Dr. Fauci and I both strongly believe that if we work as hard as we can over the next several weeks, that we will see potential to go under the numbers that were predicted by the models. And I think that is really two things. It is the extraordinary compliance of the American people and the diligence that they have mitigated with. Because remember, we are doing this strictly by behavior change. It's very hard to change trajectory of viruses on just behavior change. We have had difficulty in our past doing that. So that's what we're doing, and that's what the American people are doing. But the other side of that is the incredible insights that Washington State and others are providing on how to better care for the patients in the hospital. And so those two pieces are coming together that could have a dramatic impact on the predictions of the mortality from this disease.
So I'm glad you asked that question, because I've said it a couple of times here. I want to say it again. Repetition is good. Is that models are good. They help us to make projections. But as you get data in, you modify your model. And I've always said, data always trumps models, always. So what I feel, and I believe that Dr. Birx also feels, that I don't think anyone has ever mitigated the way I'm seeing people mitigate right now. This has never happened in this country before. So I am optimistic, always cautiously optimistic, that if we do what I've been talking about over the past few minutes, we can make that number go down. I don't accept every day that we're going to have 100 to 200,000 deaths. I think we can really bring that down, no matter what a model says, because when the data comes in, they'll start to say, you know, maybe you are essentially overshooting the model. And I think that's where we can go. That's the reason why I like to always get up and tell the American people, it's the virus doing what the virus wants to do, and it's we as a society doing what we can do.
And let me just amplify that from a layperson's perspective. And the American people are doing it. I mean, the initial data, what we've seen in California and Washington, support the fact that the American people are doing these things, which is nothing short of loving your neighbor. I mean, the truth is, the threat of serious illness for most Americans is relatively low. But the threat of serious illness for seniors with underlying health conditions or anyone with an immunodeficiency is very high. And when we see Americans putting these principles into practice the way you all have been, it really means you're considering others more important than yourself. And I have to tell you, for the president, for me, for all of us, it's deeply inspiring. We just need to continue to do it for all of these 30 days, and we'll bring that number down. How about a couple more, please?
So, Mr. Vice President, when will you know, when do you think that you will know whether or not you will have to extend those 30-day guidelines, or if 30 days will be enough?
Well,